everybody, SonGoshuaku here, ready to review WWE SummerSlam 2025 Night 2, because man, what a main event and what an even more shocking surprise. But we kick things right off with our very first match for the WWE Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky versus Naomi. So, as Rhea Ripley is making her entrance down, Michael Cole is very much on commentary talking about how Rhea has never won at SummerSlam, and Io Sky comes out, and Naomi actually gets a live performance from her father, who I actually did not know, or maybe it was mentioned on Total Divas and I forgot, but apparently he is a famous guitarist, and that was really cool, seeing her father go ahead and play her to the ring, so that was awesome. And then from there, in the beginning of the match, Naomi actually exits the ring, so that's letting Rhea and Io Sky go at it, and eventually, after the one-on-one portion, Naomi gets in the ring and takes out both Io and Rhea, with a good chunk of this match for this portion. Naomi is actually dominating both. Eventually, Naomi finally gets taken down, because Rhea and Io are actually using double team moves to finally comeback Naomi, and they both are doing, Io and Io's taunt and everything, so that was really cool to see. And there's a really cool spot where Io goes for a clothesline, but Naomi, she slides under her. She gets on her knees and slides under her, only to get caught by a knee in the face from Rhea Ripley, and then delivers to Io Sky a razor's edge, followed up by a power bomb. But before she could even get the pinfall, Naomi kicks out. The action from here pulls outside of the ring, and Io does the moonsault off the top of the rope, taking out both Naomi and Rhea. There's a crazy sequence right here where Naomi does a split-legged moonsault to Naomi, but Rhea jumps off. Rhea kicks, I think, Rhea kicks off. She just kicks her off or something like that, and Io does the moonsault on top of Rhea, and then the moonsault basically, from there, Rhea, this part of the match, it just goes crazy with the women hitting a lot of their big moves and big shots, back and forth. As you could probably tell by me reading my notes, there was a lot of action to keep up with here, and it's just getting a lot of near falls. From there, Rhea Ripley is using the cannonball from the top of the apron onto Naomi, and then Io hits Rhea with a sunset flip outside of the ring. So she kind of goes outside the ring, into a suicide dive, and turns into a sunset flip, and then delivers the power bomb with Rhea on top of Naomi. So really cool, innovative stuff. In the end, however, Rhea Ripley hits the avalanche riptide from the top rope to Io, and as she's getting the pinfall, Naomi comes in and basically rolls up Rhea and pulls the tights, which is legal because triple threat matches are no disqualification. She gets that 1, 2, 3, and Naomi retains the WWE Women's World Championship. This match was excellent. Oh man, shoot, when you put Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, magic happens. We saw it at WrestleMania 41 with Bianca Belair. We saw it especially in that Evolution 2 match last month, and you put them in here with Naomi, who is also a talented performer. You just knew it was going to be good magic, and that's exactly what we got. Now, I will say I didn't like this triple threat match as much as I liked the WrestleMania 41 match that Rhea Ripley and Io Sky both had with Bianca Belair, but this was very serviceable. It was an excellent triple threat match. Definitely, it's going to be ranking high on when I rank these matches, and this is a great hot way to start off night 2. These women, I just knew were absolutely going to go out there and kill it, and nothing but good things to say about this match, and I'm glad that Naomi gets the big win, because you just put the title on her, and it'd be ridiculous to take the title off of her. So excellent opening match for sure. All right, what's up? We got Big D in the chat, says Naomi won. That's all that matters. So, yeah, that's really good. Glad to see that my chat is working this time around last night. I had a lot of people. Thank you guys so much. Almost between both streams, horizontal and vertical, over 26,000 of you, it was 2,600 of you showing up. So that was really awesome. And I can read y'all's comments here. But getting on to our next match. WWE Tag Team Championship 6-pack TLC match. The match consisted of the Wyatts, 6, defending their championships, consisting of Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy, versus DIY, consisting of Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, versus the Street Profits, consisting of Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, versus Faxium, consisting of Axiom and Nathan Frazier, versus Motor City Machine Guns, consisting of Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, versus Andrade and Ray Phoenix. Woo, that was a mouthful to say. And man, oh man, this match was crazy. So I'm gonna try my best. I was trying to take the notes, but yeah, this match was crazy. So before the match gets started, we get Bubba Ray Dudley and Devon Dudley, of course, being the Dudley Boys, and Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys, who are there in honor of the 25th anniversary of the first TLC match back at SummerSlam 2000. Man, I remember I was a kid watching that. That match was fantastic. Awesome stuff. And it's cool to see the tradition continuing here. Obviously, if Edge and Christian weren't in AEW, we'd be seeing them here too as well. Yeah, it's times like this where I wish that the companies could work together, because it would have been awesome to see Edge and Christian out there as well. That being said, all the teams, they just start getting right at it, just batting off, like boom, boom with their fists and everything. So as far as the highlights, and this is what I was able to get down from my notes, the Street Profits do a double backdrop to Joe Gacy, but miss a ladder that's leaning towards the ropes. And when they realize Joe Gacy missed it, Montez Ford, he's like, oh no, we doing this. So he goes out of the ring, throws Joe Gacy back in there, and they do the double backdrop again. And this time Joe Gacy falls on the ladder, and he's like bouncing off the ladder again, and then finally slides down. Even Wade Barrett on commentary was trying to say, I think it worked out for him in his favor the first time when they missed. So that was really good. So the Street Profits, they do the whole get the table spot, and and the camera switches over to the Dudley Boys, and Bubba Ray Dudley and Devon are just clapping, having a good time, seeing their taunting being used in the match, and stuff like that. So the Street Profits, they break out more tributes, this time to Eddie Guerrero, and that wouldn't be the first time we see Eddie Guerrero on the show in terms of tributes going on. They do a double Three Amigos at one point, and I forget who it was, either Tommaso Ciampa or Johnny Gargano, but one of them throw Montez over the table, leaning towards the corner of the ring, but Montez in midair turns it into like a swanton bomb onto all the competitors outside. Just sick stuff, man. I can't give Montez Ford's athleticism enough praise, man. DDT, then there's a DDT through the table. Okay, so yeah, this was really hard to keep up with, and you got to see the match for yourself. But the wrestlers, they all do this sequence where each of them, from every corner of the ring, there's a table. We see a DDT through the table. Then we see a leg drop through the table, then a frog splash through the table, and then finally a Spanish fly through the table. The fans were going crazy. I was like, holy crap, like, man, this was insane. Really cool spot just going on right after another. Like, man, that was insane. Then we're getting basically where the women start getting involved, and it's kind of remind me, if you all remember TLC 2 back at WrestleMania 17, you had all the different all the allies, Spike Dudley for the Dudley Boys, Rhino for Edge and Christian, and of course Lita for for the Hardys, and they were all getting involved, and that's kind of what we had here. So all the ladies, basically, they're climbing on the ladder, and they're doing their respect, trying to get the championships down for their respective teams, but they all end up going off the ladder. But the craziest spot comes when Candice LeRae is on a 20-foot ladder trying to grab the titles for DIY, and I forget who ends up pushing. I think it was Tommaso Ciampa into Johnny Gargano, and Johnny Gargano Gargano accidentally ends up pushing the ladder forward, and Candice LeRae, his wife, goes crashing 20 feet off the ladder through another ladder that breaks in half. Man, if you had Jim Ross on the commentary, he'd be like, by God, she's broken in half. Man, fans were going crazy. 6 spot, and Candice LeRae, though I didn't follow her heavily on the independent scene, I have seen highlights, and man, that woman absolutely had some bloody matches and stuff, and she's hardcore like that. So yeah, Candice LeRae very much could take it. So I'm pretty sure she was glad to be able to take that spot in the match. So from here, at one point, the guy with the mask, I think it was, in Faxium, or no, it may have been, was it Nathan Frazier? I forget which one. I'm trying to keep up with all these and remember the team names. Tries to go for an edge-like spear off the top of the ladder to Tommaso Ciampa, of course, being that famous spot going back to WrestleMania 17, where Edge jumps off of the ladder and nails Jeff Hardy, and they just go straight down 20 feet to the canvas. They're trying to recreate this, except I forget which member it was of Faxium, they go flying, and Tommaso Ciampa, the way he does it, the best way I can describe it, he basically uses his core strength to basically lift his whole lower body up, and he's like doing something like Spider-Man in the air and everything, and he's hanging, and so the Faxium guy goes crashing and burning, and he gets taken out by Johnny Gargano doing the kicks, and Tommaso Ciampa is then able to let his body go down. Just crazy core strength, and the fans just looking this. I stood up out of my seat in my living room, and I had to applaud him. Like, that was great. And it was so cool to see. We've never seen that type of counter, and there's been so much done in these ladder matches over the years, especially with, I mean, if you go back 25 years ago, what Edge and Christian and the Dudleys and the Hardys were doing, man, they were really reinventing the ladder match at that point, and we've had so many since then. So much profit for these guys coming up with new innovative spots we've never seen. And of course, so from there, when he pulls down, he's able to get his legs out of the air, and he's able to get back onto the ladder from there. And stuff, and like I said, I gave that a standing ovation. Now, at one point, DIY goes crashing through about 3 to 4 tables. I think the last table didn't break, but man, they go outside the ladder because Uncle Howdy gets involved and pushes them over it. And then after this, all 6 teams are cleared of the ring, and you've got from the Wyatt 6, I believe it was Dexter Lumis. He's like looking, making sure nobody's coming in. Joe Gacy goes up to the top of the ladder and successfully pulls down the tag team titles to secure the win, and thus the Wyatt Six remain the WWE Tag Team Champions. I can guarantee you all this when I do my live stream to rank these matches. This match is finding its way easily, has to be in my top 5, easily probably going to be top, maybe even top 3. It's going to rank high. Man, insane TLC match. You know, I grew up watching those old TLC matches with the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian, and much respect to those guys and what they did back then. And here, I think what we've seen is the involvement, the level of athleticism from today's athletes are just on a whole other level than what it was from those guys. And I think that's great, because it's nice to know that, hey, those guys, they did great in their time and they reinvented and created something that is timeless. But now to see these tag teams come in here and just reinvent that and make it like it is going to go down as one of the greatest TLC matches, one of the most craziest things ever. It was so good. They had a replay showing you just how all the different commentators all the commentators in the different languages were speaking, man. So it was like crazy. And so I thought that was absolutely awesome and phenomenal. Just fantastic ladder match. I really loved it. Hats off to all these guys, man. And thankfully it was on the card for SummerSlam, because they left the last TLC match off for WrestleMania, which was insane to me. So I'm glad these guys got to shine here. Tag team division is going strong. But that being said, I hope Triple H is done with this whole all tag teams on the roster feuding. I like to see the tag teams. You have 2 teams that are feuding, or you have one set of group of teams teams going against one another. Like, split these tag team feuds into different own separate programs, and I think it'll be really good because there's no need to constantly just have them all involved and stuff like that together. I think we can get some separate. The tag team division is very strong on SmackDown. Separate them up now and everything, and put some good stuff in there. All right, I'm gonna see what's going on in the chat before we get to our next match here. Joe Jose, thanks for dropping by, says, "Man, Brock Lesnar is back. Why that happened? Why?" I'll be talking about that a little bit later. Andrade says, "Gonna back a great storyline." Yeah, there's probably gonna be some great storyline telling here. BD says, "Brock F5 John at 3 SummerSlams. Why not his retirement one also?" Yeah, I'll be mentioning that a little bit later on. Jose says, "Man, I don't know, but Lesnar again." BD says, "Fan favorite." Mark says, thanks for joining, Mark Rain. Says, "Just found your channel and sub. Check mine to wrestling as well, brother." Cool, man. Mark Rain. Here, you know what? Let me copy and paste that on your channel. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I'll go in the comment section. I got you there. Thanks for subscribing too. Who did you want to win the TLC match? I would have liked to seen Street Profits. It was too soon to take the titles off of them, but if not, I thought I did pick and thought it would be cool to see Andrade and Rey Fenix, because they're just getting some new Rey Fenix. They're getting some big momentum and everything, so that would have been really cool. See, Goob CPV says, "This is probably Brock's retirement match." I don't know, Brock looked pretty good in there. He might have some more, but I'll talk more about that later. Earl, what's up? If you know Johnny Hotbody, he called it that Brock Lesnar, he knew everything. Watch the Chubby Dudley show tomorrow after Raw. Must have been, I'm not familiar with him, but obviously, yeah, if he called it, he called it. Hey, thank you for showing up, Earl. I recognize your name and everything. Good to see you. So yeah, and says, Mark says, Good says, "I make WWE videos too." Awesome. Glad to see other fellow wrestling content creators here. Mark says, "Yes, Andrade and Rey would have been fun, but I'm really waiting for DIY to split and have a fantastic feud down the line. I hope." Very good. Very interesting. All right, we're going to get back to the review here. Thank you all for keeping engaging in the content here. All right, so our next match was for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, a street fight. Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch, under the stipulation that if Lyra loses, then she can never again challenge for the Intercontinental Championship as so long as Becky is still champion. All right, so Becky Lynch comes out to a new theme song from a band I'd be called the Wonder Years. From what I hear, sounds pretty cool. I'm glad it was not Def Rebel, because Def Rebel tends to have a lot more misses than hits when it comes to making theme songs that get you emotionally connected to these wrestlers, particularly outside of a few, and they pretty much do nail some all bangers when it comes to the Samoan family or the bloodline. That being said, though, I'll have to hear what the theme song sounds like on its own and stuff like that, but it sounds pretty good. I did kind of pick up, maybe it was just a little bit more quieter in the arena, kind of a more chill, lower vibe. No, not as upbeat as Becky Lynch, but hey, that fits more for her character right now. That being said, from here, yeah, it does sound like a lot of work was put into it, though. But both women, they start off by slapping one another multiple times. When the match gets to the outside, Becky Lynch grabs out a kendo stick, but it hits out of her hand. But yeah, it's hit out of her hand by Lyra, who grabs a crowbar. Now, at one point, Becky Lynch is thrown by Lyra Valkyria into one of the ringside photographers by accident, as the man was walking swinging across, and you could see Lyra Valkyria basically break character for a moment, going like, Becky, like, oh no, I'm so sorry, and she's like, I'm about to beat you again, Becky, like, so that was interesting to see there. But yeah, they were saying no one is safe from these two women at ringside. So at one point, Becky Lynch, she puts a chain around Lyra Valkyria's mouth, like, she's got it in like this, and then she like starts pulling back, tugging her in between, like, well, basically like the ring post, and puts her leg on the ring post and pulls back. So she's certainly at that point has it gets a lot of leverage on there and everything. From there, Becky Lynch then starts going ham on Lyra Valkyria with the kendo stick at one point, going from a golf swing as she was in Happy Gilmore too, so that was a cool reference that they made there. Becky Lynch, she eventually brings in a couple of chairs and a toolbox and uses the toolbox on Lyra Valkyria to hit her on the side of the shoulder. Now Becky Lynch then zip ties Lyra Valkyria's hands together in front of her, and at this point I'm thinking, why not the back? Because if you go in the back, there's a lot less she can do to defend herself, because when you're in front, she could still swing and do that and do some double axe handles and stuff, and of course this would end up costing her a little bit later in the match in terms of what I was saying. So yeah, from there she pulls out a wrench and just starts hitting Lyra Valkyria in the midsection twice. By this point, Wade Barrett on commentary is asking, what's the point of Lyra Valkyria kicking out when she can't defend herself? Becky then does the Beck exploder onto a chair, but Lyra can't defend herself with her hand zip tied. And then there's a spot taken right out of Randy Orton versus John Cena in 2009, and I think it was that Breaking Point pay-per-view where it was like all submissions. And Becky Lynch, she then she sort of like puts Lyra Valkyria and hangs her from the top rope, and she's got her zip tied, so Lyra is basically hanging on there, and she just starts going ham. The first Kindle stick just completely explodes because it had been used so much, and then the second Kindle stick, she just like bam, 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 just starts going ham on Lyra's midsection with that, and it's a pretty cool moment where Lyra gets Becky in between her arms, and Becky tries to get away, but she can't because she zip tied her in the front, just like I was saying. Why not do it from the back? So she can't get out of there, and she's trying to squat down to get out of there, but Becky, Lyra won't let her go, and Lyra then basically turns into like a belly to belly suplex. And things like that, and Lyra Valkyria starts getting back to Becky Lynch with multiple kicks, double forearm punches. Like I was saying, you can do that in the fore, and when it's you're zip tied in the front, because her hands are still zip tied. And then there's just a cool part where she runs up the steel chair, jumps off the steel chairs, and does a drop kick to Becky Lynch. After this, basically Becky Lynch, Lyra, she does a no hands moonsault, literally like this. Does a moonsault off the top of the rope to Becky Lynch. So this is really cool to see, especially from this point in the match. Becky Lynch is losing essentially to a no arm woman at this point, basically. She's getting her butt kicked by her. Lyra Valkyria, she manages to get to the turnbuckle post padding remove, but Becky Lynch comes up from behind her and throws her out of the ring, but then loses her, and clearly at this point she's gone on the ring, and Becky Lynch doesn't know. She's like, which way did she go? Which way did she go? Where is she at? Where's she at? Now, Lyra Valkyria, she then unleashes a fire extinguisher on Becky Lynch, and after trying so long to break her hands free from the sharp part of the fire extinguisher, she goes under the ring, and then she must have found some sort of scissors or knife and everything, or maybe they had a ring agent under there that cut it for her. They had something there, and from there, it is open season with, I believe, a kendo stick that Becky Lynch is just getting messed up with, basically, that Lyra grabbed out of her hands. From here, Becky, she launches, Becky Lynch picks up a chair, but Lyra Valkyria does a drop kick through the bottom ropes and smashes the chair into Becky's face. From there, Becky Lynch, she tries to do the manhandle slam from the top of the steel steps, but Lyra is able to counter and do the Nightwing of the padding outside. So I really hope her tailbone's going to be with that, because yeah, it doesn't. There's not much padding support out there. Once the action gets back into the ring, Lyra Valkyria is pushed into the exposed turnbuckle that she took apart. And this right here, and Becky Lynch then delivers a manhandle slam to the two-seated chairs that Lyra had jumped off of earlier on. And from there, Lyra manages to kick out at another near fall, and the fans in the match are chanting, "This is awesome!" Because I mean, like, man, these ladies were going at it for sure. There's a really cool spot I've never seen before with a chair that happens, where Becky Lynch places Lyra in between the chair. So the way you have the spine part of the chair, and then you have the seat of the chair where your butt goes, right? So in between that spacing area, Lyra is put in between there, so she's completely almost bound. Basically, all you can see from that part of the chair is from her forehead all the way down, like halfway down to her midsection. And what Becky Lynch does is she sort of basically just keeps ramming her into the announce table front first, and Wade Bear just talking about how that's hurting the sternum. And then Lyra does try to fight back, where she takes the back part of the chair and tries to squash Becky in between the chair and the turnbuckle post, but it doesn't work too effectively. And Becky Lynch then takes the legs part of the chair, and there's a space that she's able to put in between the announce table. And then she gets on the announce table, and Lyra is trapped right here. And the way they have it, Becky Lynch jumps off the ladder and goes right onto what was the spine part of the chair, and it sort of like looks like it just brutalized her, crushed her, like, oh, almost like her chin went face first. Lyra did a great job of just selling, great job of looking like she was out of it, basically. And then from here, Lyra looks like she's about to get finished off with another crowbar by Becky Lynch. But as she goes back, and she's holding it for a while, I'm like, what's going to go on here? What's going on? And what ends up happening is it's Bayley who grabs the crowbar, and from there with the crowbar, Becky, man, from the crowbar, Becky just starts, she's basically doing peer pressure to Bayley, saying, do it, take her out. And Bayley's contemplating, but instead she ends up going against Becky Lynch there. And there's one point she gets Becky Lynch up against the barricade, and so Bayley runs towards there, but Becky's able to get out of the ring, and this sends Bayley flying over the barricade. And there's a really cool spot here where Becky is like on the ground, is on the table resting, and out of nowhere, Lyra Valkyria comes into frame with a top rope leg drop that sends Becky crashing through the table. Epic spot. Didn't see it coming. Love the way this was shot. This was phenomenal, and stuff like that. So as the action then from there goes back into the ring, it looks like Lyra Valkyria is going to win, but Bayley gets on top of the ropes and swings and with her fists wrapped up in the steel chain, and from there Becky, she gets out of the way, and the steel chain fist that Bayley is now rocking hits Lyra Valkyria, knocking her out, and Becky Lynch is then able to score the 1-2-3 to retain the WWE Intercontinental Women's Championship. Thus, Lyra Valkyria can never again challenge for the Intercontinental title so long as Becky Lynch remains champion. And as the match goes off here, Bayley, it's all thanks to Bayley. Bayley is just looking in disbelief. She's like, oh snap, because she knows she really effed up now, getting involved in this. Granted, if she didn't get involved, Lyra probably would have been done earlier in the match the way the story was playing out. Overall, this was an excellent match. It was, as you could tell by all the notes I was taking in it, I was heavily invested in this match. Man, I'm actually thinking I'm going to say it here. I believe out of the 3 women matches that we got, this stole the show. And I have been a huge fan of Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria's matches going back to NXT. I think this was their 4th match, and these women have killed it every single time. And I expect this to rank very highly when I rank the matches. I mean, right off the bat, like I said, I thought this was the women's match of the weekend, easily the women's match of the weekend. So hats off to Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria for putting on another classic. All right, before we go to the next match, let's look and see what we got going on here in the chat. Let's see anything new going on as far as Becky Lynch here. Let's see anything new. Let's see, who do you think John Cena's retirement match is going to be against? Probably Gunther, I imagine. Goob says also Becky's song isn't bad, but it's definitely a downgrade in my opinion. Becky's Lynch's theme does get you really hyped up. It does, so yeah, that's why I say I gotta listen to it before I see if maybe it grows on me. I didn't like Bayley's theme song at first when she switched over to in 2019 went heel, but it grew on me, and so yeah, I even like her Death Rebel theme too. So then let's see from here what do we have. The crowd, you see, Goob says the crowd sucked besides the main event for both nights, I think. The Becky, so he wasn't a fan of the crowd and everything and stuff there. The Becky, Tony, thank you for joining, says the Becky match was a bathroom break for me, low key, probably the worst match of the night, to be honest. Wow, okay. So Tony definitely feels, he says, in my opinion, he feels the opposite of how I felt about this match, because I thought this was the best women's match of the show and everything. But hey, fair play, man. That just goes to show we all, the wrestling fans, are different. Different strokes for different folks, like to say, and everything, and stuff. Let's see. Ermi, I think is how you say the name. Thanks for joining the chat. Says Cody is www is all. Oh, I think is what you're saying. Says yes, Becky. So okay, was happy to see Becky win. Yes, it's so hated, and this match was crazy. Yeah, I agree. I mean, this match was crazy. These women were definitely going all out. Marcerial says WWE said hi. Thank God Brock is back. I'm right. He's glad to see. He said hi, and then War Rads, that's the one that said, thank God Brock is back. He says he never did anything wrong. I can't wait to watch him on Monday. So Wall Rads is very glad to see Brock Lesnar back. Sultan 2007 says, I don't believe Brock Lesnar puck to WWE. Al says Brock is back. Bleach fan 2.0. Becky rules. So yeah, he's very glad to see Becky rules. And Al says I like Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is awesome, and I've had a lot of praise for her and Charlotte Flair last night for sure. All right, thank you all. Thank you for staying engaging in the chat. All right, next up, we had Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu in a steel cage match for the WWE United States Championship. So the story was like this, the MFTs kept getting involved with Jacob Fatu, and they kept doing all these 3 to 4 beat downs, 3 to 4 men beating down one guy. And as we basically go from here, we get we basically get this steel cage match to keep everyone out, which fans don't take that stipulation serious, so hopefully WWE would do the right thing here and have that stipulation get taken serious. So as soon as the bell rings, Solo, he starts saying you got one last chance and smacks Jacob, but then Jacob responds with a hard smack of his own that sends Solo to the ground. During all of this, the audience is chanting F you Solo. So Solo eventually delivers the backdrop to Jacob Fatu, and his body is grinding down the steel cage, and Solo then starts mocking the tribute dance that he does, to the boogeyman and stuff. If you go, by the way, if y'all have never seen Jacob Fatu just basically completely fanboying out over meeting the boogeyman backstage, it's so wholesome. Check it out, it's really good stuff. From there, Solo then is taking it to Jacob Fatu, constantly trash talking, saying, look at you stupid now, look at you, you're stupid now, and all that stuff. Solo, he takes his sweet time taunting and trash talking, and he had the ability to walk out the cage a couple of times here, but he eventually ends up costing himself when Jacob is able to, when he goes for the Samoan spike, and Jacob's able to use all that extra recovery time by dodging it, and he's able to clothesline, taking both competitors down. During the middle of the match, Jacob Fatu is sending Solo into several sides of the steel cage, like boom, 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 and then from there Solo eventually he throws Jacob into the steel cage, and Jacob's like nah, and he's all basically no selling it and everything, and so Jacob Fatu from there he delivers the moonsault on top of Solo, but Solo kicks out, and I think he did like 2 of them, and the commentators are mentioning that's the first time anyone's ever kicked out of the moonsault from Jacob Fatu. Then we get to the shenanigans. They begin where the MFTs they come down for Solo, but Jimmy Uso comes out to aid Jacob, giving them super kicks to was it Tamaloa and JC Mateo, and Jimmy Uso was then wiped out with a big boot and thrown into the side. And make sure I got his name right, because I want to make sure I'm saying his name right. I think I am. Let me make sure I got it right here. Yeah, Tala. Is it Tala Tonga? Okay, got it. Make sure I'm saying it right. Tala Tonga. Okay, got it. So yeah, getting back here into the action, yeah, Tala Tonga. I'm still trying to remember these new names, so I know they had changed it. They had changed them recently, and so from there, Tala Tonga. At one point, the staircase door is open, but he ends up doing a big boot that lays out Jimmy Uso, and then from at one point, the staircase door is open, where the steel cage door near the stairs is open, but Jacob, he tells the referee, he says, "What the hell are you doing? It's all gas, no goddamn brakes with it, you know what I mean?" And shuts the door. So that was pretty cool. I love Jacob Fatu, the way he talks trash and stuff, and even from there, Solo, he gets the upper hand on Jacob, basically from there, and still kicks out, and Jacob Fatu still kicks out. And then after that, the other MFTs start interfering, and Jacob takes most of them out until Talatonga takes handcuffs and handcuffs Jacob Fatu's wrist to the top of the cage. And what's a real punk move storyline wise, before Solo can escape out of the cage door, Jacob, a punk move is that Solo's trying to get out the cage. Now Jacob, in the background, we see he's able to break off the handcuffs, and he quickly goes ahead and pulls Jacob in there, and from here Solo's just not even trying to fight Jacob. He's desperate. He just lunges forward, just trying to get out of that out of the ring from there, and Jacob kicks the steel cage into JC Mateo's face. Unfortunately, in the end here, Solo is trying to desperately get out the cage, and I think it was Talatonga, Tomga. Oh my gosh, I'm getting all tongue twisted with these names. Forgive me for that. He comes and swings the door right into Jacob Fatu's face and pulls Solo out so that he retains the WWE United States Championship. If there are people out there that wonder why professional wrestling fans, particularly especially here in WWE, don't take the steel cage stipulations of the purpose of just keeping out outside interference seriously, what did this match do? Honestly, I thought this was the weakest match of night 2, and I can be honest that it is going to be. I love Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu's performance. There's nothing against them as performers, but the way this whole match was structured, the story of the match, it just contradicts the whole thing. The whole purpose was putting the cage there to keep the MFTs out, and they got involved anyway and ultimately helped Jacob win. It felt like a waste of time. Why? What was the purpose? What was the purpose of doing this? Like, come on, like what was here? Like, were we gonna? You might as well have just made it a handicap match. So it's like, I can't believe like, yeah, this was one of the things where I was kind of down on this show. This kind of brought the show down for me, unfortunately. This match, and then even after the match, they do this thing where Jimmy Uso takes out the rest of the MFTs, and Jacob Fatu goes all the way to the top of the cage to do a moonsault on top of them, and so that's where we get the really cool steel cage spot. And it's like, where was that in the match? That should have been a part of the match, but they wanted to keep the I guess keep the title, the US title, on Solo without making Jacob look weak, and that was their way of doing it. Yeah, this was not it for me. It was not it for me. The cage match, I felt there wasn't anything that really stood out too much steel cage match wise, and it just contradicted the whole reason behind this. Like, why is there no stipulation put in place where Nick Aldis is like, listen, if they even think of so much coming down there and trying to climb up that cage, you automatically disqualify yourself and will lose the US title. Then they wouldn't have been so quick to interfere. But when you say we're just going to cage, what's stopping them from climbing in there? So yeah, this match didn't do it for me, unfortunately, and it was great because we were starting off really hot for SummerSlam, but this kind of brought the mood down as far as it. Let me see what the chat thought about this match here. What we got here? See, AL wants Braun Strowman brought back. Vidal says, hi, hey, thanks for joining the stream. Bleach Fan 2.0 says, Solo kicking out of 2 moonsaults was bad ASS. Yeah, that was a cool moment for him. And as I said, the first part of this match was good. Like, it was going to be one-on-one, then you got the shenanigans. AL says, Wyatt 6 is good. I like them. Heather, thank you for joining, says, hello. Yeah, thank you for joining the chat. Bleach Fan 2.0 says, I like Jacob Fatu for what he was. Yeah, Jacob Fatu is awesome. Heather says, they should have kept his name Hikuleo. Yeah, it's much easier for me to remember that, honestly. Bleach Fan 2.0 is Tama Tonga Tonga Loa and Tala Tonga Tala. What a tongue twister. But thank you for helping out there in the chat. There, Tonga. Yeah, Tala Tonga. Zane Hallway says, yeah, Jacob will win Mano Imano. Yeah. That's definitely the story that they've been making it clear. Heather says, I went to the store when the match started. When I came back, it was already over, only out for like 10 minutes. Wow. Yeah. Honestly, like I said, this is kind of one of the weaker matches I thought on the card and everything. It didn't do it for me. Let's see who we got here. Malaysia join. Miro join. Thank you for joining the chat. Miro Malaysia Junior 2026 WWE Rhea Ripley Hall of Fame. Oh, absolutely. She's definitely Hall of Fame worthy in what she's done so far. I think she's got way more. So yeah, definitely building up that resume. Said hi, thank you for joining. Let's see what else we got here. Bleach Fan 2.0 says Solo cheated Jacob Fatu. Yeah, that's pretty much been the storyline. Pretty much been the storyline. And then let's see what else we got here. Bleach Fan 2.0 says Jacob Fatu had a laugh and cry moment. Pretty much there. Sultan 2007, I'm from Palestine. My English language not very good. Oh wow, that's crazy. That's what's so wonderful about the internet, is like we can actually connect with people all over the world. Hey, I appreciate you coming out all the way from there and to the chat. So thank you so much. Let's see, Sade 19 S3D says, hi Palestine, I'm from Saudi Arabia. We've got more people from Saudi Arabia showing up. Awesome. Hey, let me know if you go to the Saudi Arabia shows that WWE has out there a couple of times a year. And says, my English is so bad, but okay. Hey, I appreciate y'all showing love from another side of the world and coming out here. That's what it's about. All of us in the world coming together to enjoy this passion and love that we have for pro wrestling. So thank you for showing up tonight. I really appreciate that. All right, our next match, Dominik Mysterio versus AJ Styles for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. All right, so I'm realizing this was the 20th anniversary since Dominik Mysterio's first SummerSlam appearance. Of course, the whole storyline where Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero was fighting over his custody and stuff like that. Crazy, wacky storyline, but match-wise, Rey and Eddie absolutely put on a banger that night. Phenomenal storytelling in that match. So AJ Styles, he comes out in a lowrider in gear, very much inspired by Eddie Guerrero. So as I mentioned earlier, the Eddie Guerrero tributes definitely were high here tonight, so that was really cool to see. So from there, the match starts off going back and forth, and the fans very much are split, chanting, "Let's go AJ, let's go Dirty Dom, let's go AJ, let's go Dirty Dom." So it's really cool to see how far Dominik Mysterio has come, even 5 years since he first showed up and everything in his first match with Seth Rollins. Fans, yeah, they're actually started singing "Dirty, Dirty Dom, Dirty, Dirty Dom," and he goes for a 619, nails it on AJ Styles, but then as he goes for a frog splash, AJ counters into a calf crusher, and at one point the ring turnbuckle post is taken off, and these guys continue a lot of their tributes to Eddie Guerrero as Dominik Mysterio takes a chair while the referee's back is turned because he's trying to fix the turnbuckle post, and he hits the canvas and throws it over to AJ Styles, and AJ Styles like, "Oh crap, I know this trick." So what he does is he falls to the ground and puts it towards his puts it over his neck, and he just starts selling and starts like shaking his foot and everything. So the referee, he turns around, he's like, "I don't know who to believe here," and he doesn't disqualify him, which is good because that could have really backfired in AJ's case, because if it's disqualified, he doesn't win the Intercontinental title. So that was a really cool, clever spot. The audience, they continue to be very hot for this match with split reactions of AJ Styles, Dirty Dom, AJ Styles, Dirty Dom. In the end of the match, at the end of the match, AJ Styles manages to get the calf crusher on Dominik Mysterio, but the boot ends up coming off. And I already knew, I'm like, oh, they're doing a classic spot of Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero at WrestleMania 20. And from there, while the referee is distracted in the ropes, Dominik Mysterio uses the boot and whacks AJ Styles upside the face with it from there, and Dominik Mysterio then delivers a frog splash to get the 1, 2, 3 and retain the WWE Intercontinental Championship. During the post-match replays, it is then revealed from another camera angle that Dominik Mysterio purposely zipped his boot all the way down, making it easy for AJ to take it off when applying pressure on it. And Michael Cole also mentions how this is similar to how Eddie Guerrero defeated Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 20. So yeah, it was AJ was pulling that pressure on it, it just came right off. Essentially, I put in my notes, this match was one big giant love letter to longtime Eddie Guerrero fans, and just overall tribute to Eddie Guerrero. Rest in peace. It was great. I actually enjoyed this match that AJ Styles had with Dominik Mysterio more than the match he had with Logan Paul at WrestleMania 41. So this was really good. I enjoyed it. It was a great, I thought the storyline was fun, had its funny moments, and overall really good match. And unlike Solo Sikoa, Dominik Mysterio, though he cheats, he still gets it done by himself and everything. So, you know, different story there, but I think that creates legitimacy in terms of Dominik Mysterio when fans look at the two characters in the storyline and stuff like that. He didn't need the Judgment Day to come out and help him and everything. So that was very interesting. From there, actually, we get Stephanie McMahon mentions that the attendance is 60,000 plus, and so there are more people that showed up for night 2 than night 1. Shout out to my boy Rob Fury, who's out there. He showed up, I know, for night 2. And they say like both nights had an attendance, total attendance of 113,722 fans. Now, of course, a lot of those fans were people who attended both nights, so they're just doubling it up to make it seem the bigger, as it's the biggest SummerSlam, which Triple H, who was in the show earlier, mentioned that. So yeah, we had all that going there. All right, before we get to our main event, let's see what the chat had to say about this one. All right, let's see what we got here. Cody Rhodes getting booed this whole match. Once he opens up on SmackDown, he's gonna get Roman beat Taker crowd. I don't know what you talked about, but I think you are a good man. Oh, appreciate it. I remember you said your English wasn't good. Hey, we can all understand this. Much heart, much praise for you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Because I don't speak English. I see you later, bro. Peace. Hey, thank you so much. Chad Taylor says, my son saw Eddie Guerrero chair fake out moment for the first time and he thought it was the funniest thing. Oh, that's so awesome. See, that just shows you the testament that, you know, even though it's been almost 20 years since we lost the late great Eddie Guerrero, his influence still being felt even with the younger generation. So that's fantastic. Thanks for showing. This is why I like doing these live streams. I love hearing these touching moments and how pro wrestling affects, you know, and creates these bonding moments with our families and friends. Bleach Fan 2.0 says Dominik Mysterio is the real leader of the Judgment Day. He is stepping up, that's for sure. Heather says, I don't know why, but when they were doing the dirty Dom and then later on with Cody Rhodes, it sounded like they put Europeans at the top of the stadium. I know it's a big deal that they do over in the European shows and everything, and it's cool to see that it's catched on over here to the US ever since they did the big European tour. Bleach Fan 2.0 says AJ Styles needs to go to AEW. Oh, man. If you want to see him in AEW, by all means, there. I personally don't think. I mean, I'm pretty sure Tony Khan would utilize AJ Styles well, especially since there's a lot of people there that he worked with before. But AJ Styles at this point in his career, man, I think probably staying with WWE could probably be the best thing, because they're gonna take good care of AJ Styles' legacy there, and he said he wants to retire in WWE. So yeah. Zane says, I didn't like Dom at first, but he did a great job of being the heel, and from then I've always rooted for the guy since he won the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, Dom was a little rough early in the beginning. He was coming into his own personality, trying to find himself. I thought he was phenomenal in the ring. But I always was saying, let's have patience. I kept telling people, let's have patience and let the man develop himself. And he did. Over time, you know, joining Rhea Ripley, Dominik Mysterio is just a whole new wrestler. The look, the confidence, and yeah, I think he's going to be a great babyface one day, and I'm pretty sure he'll go on to become world champion like his father did. Sultan says, Dominik don't deserve still a champion. Hey, we'll have to agree to disagree. I think Dominik's come a long way for sure. I think he's come a long way, and he definitely needs to be the Intercontinental Champion. Let's see what we got here. Dominik does deserve. Yeah, Bleach Fan 2.0 responded. Dominik does deserve it. He's the leader of the Judgment Day. Solar WX says, bro, Brock returning was one of the most shocking events of the year. I'm going to be talking about it coming up soon. Bleach Fan 2.0 says Logan Paul isn't fit enough to be a full-time wrestler, but he's good for what he does too. I think he's fit enough, but he has so many outside products that he can't probably just make that full commitment to WWE. Heather says feel empty. Bleach Fan 2.0, by the way, Seth Rollins wasn't the leader of the Shield. That was Jon Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose. He spoke for the Shield. He took beatings for them. He can beat Rollins, and Rollins can beat Reigns. Oh, man, I remember that time. Yeah, all those three guys are really just coming into their own. I felt like there was really no leaders. There were times they prioritized Moxley, prioritized Roman, and then, you know, the three of them have just come so far, and shoot, look at them what they are now. Yeah, Zane says, I wish Dean Ambrose was back in WWE. Yeah, I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I think he will one day. Solar, at least for a Hall of Fame induction. Solar WX says, I feel that eventually Moxley will return to WWE and probably side with Roman. Yeah, maybe we'll get a one last run. We'll see for sure on that one. All right, now it's time for the main event of the weekend. The WWE Championship Street Fight match. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. All right, so we get a really cool dramatic entrance with Cody Rhodes, and John Cena comes out with his old mannerisms as a babyface and gets a massive pop. The fans themselves are now singing the lyrics instead of chanting "He sucks." You know, the whole "John Cena sucks." None of that. Now they're singing the lyrics and everything. So Cody Rhodes, he gets very mixed reaction with when Alicia Taylor announces his name in the ring. And then when Alicia Taylor announces John Cena, he gets a massive popping ovation. Now, I'm going to be honest. I went into this match having grown up during the added, like I mentioned in my night one stream, having grown up in the Attitude Era and going to the post during that Invasion storyline. This had vibes to me of, is he the old Stone Cold? And then, you know, he turns on him and everything. So I was going into this match expecting some sort of shenanigans, and boy, what we got right here was absolutely a classic. So both men, they embrace, and then they start hammering each other, starting to fight off. So starting off the fight really hot. As the match goes on to the outside, Cody Rhodes, he wastes no time of being aggressive, throwing John Cena into the steel steps. As the commentators state, how Cody Rhodes has answered very early. He's willing to pull the trigger, unlike at WrestleMania 41. John Cena then takes one of the basketball players who I'm not familiar with, because forgive me, I do not keep up with sports and basketball and all that stuff like that. But he takes one of his crutches and hits Cody Rhodes with it. In the ring, John Cena has the steel steps set up, and he tries to go for the attitude adjustment to Cody Rhodes, but Cody counters and gives him a scoop slam onto the steel steps that the fans then start booing. But Cody tries to go into the ring to do a top rope move, John Cena pushes Cody off, sending him flying to the outside. From there, John Cena then picks up the steel steps and throws them to the outside, hitting Cody Rhodes with them. And I thought, oh, he's gonna get out the way, but like, no, Cody Rhodes took that steel step shot like a champ. All right, at one point, Cody sets up a chair in the corner and tries to Irish whip John Cena into it, but Cena then reverses it, and Cody ends up getting nailed into the chair that he set up earlier. And from here, John Cena hits the 5 famous moves of doom. And before Cena can deliver the attitude adjustment, Cody Rhodes comes back with his own signature moves for a near fall. When Cody goes to pick up John Cena, Cena delivers a quick attitude adjustment, but Cody kicks out exactly at 2, and the pop is heavy for this for the attitude adjustment. Cody Rhodes he delivers a sideways moonsault from the top rope that John Cena then kicks out of at 2. Cody Rhodes then from there delivers a disaster kick again, and John Cena again kicks out at 2. Cody then runs all the way to the top of the rope and ropes and delivers a Cody cutter, but Cena kicks out again at 2. From here, Cody stands above John Cena and does a taunt like this basically, and John Cena is able to get in between them, and he goes under Cena over his legs, and he's able to he goes under Cody Rhodes' legs, and he's able to lift and squat Cody Rhodes up, and delivers, like, I think it's called the electric chair drop, which Cody Rhodes also kicks out at 2. Cody Rhodes then breaks out the pile driver to John Cena, and that gets a massive pop, and I was like, oh snap. And I was like, man, I don't think we've seen John Cena take a pile driver since his awesome match in Monday Night Raw in 2013 against John Cena. That was their last match before their most recent match in 2025 here at Saudi Arabia, which, by the way, because I didn't do a review on the show, I love that match, thought it was awesome. John Cena and CM Punk just have awesome chemistry. I was there at Money in the Bank 2011, so it was great to see that again. But getting back to this match, quite possibly, I think this may have been the first time we got a pile driver at SummerSlam. since Stone Cold Steve Austin was dropped on his neck from Owen Hart. Obviously, that shortened Stone Cold's career. But yeah, I don't think we've seen a pile driver at SummerSlam since then, all the way back in 1997. From here, Cody, he tries to pick up John Cena, but Cena quickly reverses it into another attitude adjustment that leaves both men down, and fans are giving them a standing ovation. From there, Cody and Cena didn't get back to their feet and start exchanging blows back and forth, with the fans basically they're going back and forth with the fans basically booing Cody and cheering Cena. So it's like, Cody, boo, Cena, yay! Cody, boo, Cena, yay! So yeah, and I like that Cody Rhodes working a more aggressive style in this match was like he was laser focused on John Cena. He was drowning out the noise, trying not to let the fans get to him and everything. So that was really cool. Cody Rhodes, he eventually is able to get a sit-down powerbomb on John Cena, but before the count can hit 3, John Cena reverses it into the STF. Cody grabs the bottom rope, but there are no countouts or pinfalls as the match is a street fight. So Cody, he pulls himself further, which causes John Cena's neck to come tightly up against the ring rope, causes him to choke and everything, and so Cena has to let go so he doesn't pass out. Eventually, the action spills to the outside. John Cena's uses a microphone and nails Cody in the face and hits a Canadian Destroyer to a massive ovation. So that was a cool moment. John Cena then hits an attitude adjustment to Cody Rhodes from the Spanish announce table onto and through the English announce table. Man, it's come a long way. Back when I was a kid watching Attitude Era, it was always the Spanish announce table. So I'm glad to see WWE changing it up now in recent years. At this point, I'm thinking this has to be one of John Cena's best match in years. And his matches with Randy Orton and CM Punk were very good this year. I really enjoyed those. I didn't do a review for those because I mostly focus on like the main big 4 shows. And every now and then I'll do something like Evolution or Elimination Chamber or something, was big significant historically. But yeah, I did enjoy those matches this year. John Cena, though, he throws Cody Rhodes back into the ring, but Cody Rhodes is able to still kick out. At one point, John Cena charges towards Cody Rhodes in the ring near the corner. Cody ducks out of the way, and John Cena goes start them first into the he goes sternum first into the turnbuckle pads and gets nailed with the crossroads, which he kicks out of again at a near fall. Apologies if I stumble on some of the words here. Like I said, I'm taking my phone and I'm watching the action, and I'm using my voice to text basically feature on my iPhone, hoping that basically it's going to transcribe everything correctly, so when I'm seeing it here and stuff like that. That being said, John Cena, which is why it went here, like I said sternum, but instead it ended up saying what did it end up saying? Start them. iPhone voice to text featured. Then basically getting back to the action here, the action is taken to the top rope, which John Cena pushes Cody Rhodes off of, and then delivers one of his classic leg drops from the top rope to the back of Cody's neck. He then lands the attitude adjustment, and Cody Rhodes kicks out with another near fall. John Cena then brings a Slim Jim sponsored table into the ring. John Cena goes for the attitude adjustment to Cody Rhodes, but Cody pushes the table out of the way and slides behind Cena and hits Cena with a DDT, but only gets another near fall against Cena. The battle between these two then spills out into the audience, and I'm thinking at this point, man, this match has got everything. Great wrestling, great brawling, going into the audience just like they did back in the Attitude Era and stuff. So I'm like, man, this match is fire. Just straight fire. Eventually, Cody Rhodes, he delivers a suplex to John Cena on a metal guardrail. The action then ends up going under the curtain of where the stage is, and we don't know what's going on. And John Cena does this, with Cody Rhodes on his shoulder, does this dramatic rise up, because it's the platform that Cody Rhodes rised up from, and John Cena's got this look, and it just looks hilarious with the dramatic lighting, and they got smoke coming out of it. He then delivers the attitude adjustment right to the stage ramp. From there, John Cena then lifts Cody Rhodes back onto his shoulder and starts walking down the stage into the ring, and puts Cody back into the ring. And Cena's doing a great job of selling the exhaustion of the match. And Cody Rhodes is a big guy, and that's a long ramp, so he's walking down there with him, and stuff like that. And from there, as Cena gets back into the ring, Cody pops up and throws Cena right through the Slim Jim sponsored table, and then he hits the crossroads, but only gets another near fall. From there, John Cena throws Cody Rhodes out of the ring, but Cody Rhodes takes a steel chair and smashes it into John Cena's face. After that, Cody Rhodes, he then loosens the bottom rope and has the steel support exposed, and then uses it against John Cena. And man, the audience starts shouting him in boos. Cody Rhodes then hits John Cena again with the steel support. So this is the part of the steel that holds the turnbuckle up that he took out. And from there, Wade Barrett on commentary has said, you gotta block out all this noise, do it, because Cody Rhodes starting to get conflicted again. Should he do this against John Cena? But he's staying with it. But eventually John Cena is able to pop up and John Cena doesn't pop up. He does a drop toe hold, I believe it is, and transitions into the STF and grabs the bottom rope to try and choke Cody Rhodes out with it. So this is similar back to his match with Umaga at Royal Rumble 2007, where he had that, he did like the STF with the ring ropes and everything and choking him out with it. So that was a great callback to that match. From there, Cody Rhodes transitions out of it and wraps the rope around Cena's neck, turning into sort of like a headlock or anaconda vice type of maneuver. From here, John Cena gets free and goes for the attitude adjustment, but Cody Rhodes is able to turn it into 3 consecutive crossroads to score only a near massive fall, and that gets a huge ovation for the audience, because so many times in big matches, that's usually what gets the job done. So I thought that was a fantastic near fall, because I was like, okay, he's probably losing at that point. Like, okay. From there, fans at this point start chanting Super Cena, Super Cena, Super Cena, which, man, for years that was the meme on the internet. Having grown up during John Cena's whole big baby face run in the 2000s to the early 2010s, that was the big complaint on the internet. People would call him Super Cena, and we've come to a point now where the fans love him so much that they're now chanting Super Cena, when that was the big issue with a lot of the stuff that was going on with John Cena. In terms of the way he was booked back then. From here, Cody Rhodes, he tries to hit John Cena with the championship. Unlike WrestleMania, he tries to hit John Cena with the championship, unlike WrestleMania 41. But John Cena hits him with 2 back-to-back attitude adjustments and picks up the championship, but throws it down, saying, nah, he's not going to win that way. He says, nope, he's not going to go back to what he's been doing the last several months or most of this year. From there, he then gets Cody Rhodes up on top of the rope, and he does the super attitude adjustment from the top rope, but Cody Rhodes kicks out with another massive near fall, and this gets another massive ovation from the audience, and the fans at this point are chanting, "This is awesome," which I gotta be honest, it is. This match was definitely awesome. So I really love this spot, and here's what I really liked about this spot, because you've had Cody Rhodes do multiple versions of his move and make it like it's finished. John Cena kicks out, then John Cena does multiple versions of his moves, and these are big spots that have ended big matches for them before, and Cody and Cena both kicked out, and I'm thinking, like, this was great. This was a great suspense match. It definitely had me on the edge of the seat, because I'm like, okay, how's this gonna end? This is phenomenal. And so from here, John Cena then introduces into the ring another Slim Jim sponsored table with chants of "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" starts breaking out, with the table set up. John Cena then puts Cody Rhodes back onto the top of the rope and tries to go for another avalanche attitude adjustment or super attitude adjustment. Cody then reverses with a Cody cutter from the top rope, sending both of them crashing through the table. After that, John Cena then crashes into the top rope, and Cody Rhodes gives him a not the top rope. John Cena actually, he gets up, but then he crashes into the middle of the rope, and he's like hanging there, almost like in the 619 position before Rey Mysterio does the move. And Cody Rhodes, he's looking, and he gives John Cena a salute. So this is very similar to like matches where you've seen Ric Flair getting up, barely having anything left, and Shawn Michaels says, "I love you," or going back later, a couple of years later, The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, where Shawn, he smacks Undertaker, and Taker, he regrets it, but he gives him the whole, whole thing, the throat slash and everything before he puts him down. So we've seen this before, like you have to put them out of their misery, but you're gonna go down swinging. So that's kind of what this was reminding me of, and this is where I'm like, okay, the match is probably ending here. And so after the salute, that Cody Rhodes gives to John Cena, he then delivers the crossroads and scores the 1, 2, 3, and thus becomes the new undisputed WWE champion with a clean win. And this match was absolutely phenomenal. John Cena and Cody Rhodes, I stood up, gave them a standing ovation, because man, what a phenomenal match. John Cena and Cody Rhodes, they didn't have this emotional embrace. They had this emotional embrace in the ring. And it's truly an emotional moment, because they were showing how Cody Rhodes lost to John Cena 4-0 in their entire career. And that 3-0 came at a time where a lot of fans wanted to see a guy like Cody Rhodes get taken to that next level, because John Cena at that time was already well established. And obviously they did the 4-0 so that John Cena could get his big WrestleMania win, the 17th title. But here, 5-0, Cody Rhodes, well, 5, it's now 4-1, because Cody Rhodes got his big win over John Cena finally. And they were talking about how this was reminiscent of WrestleMania 29 back in 2013, when The Rock was defeated by John Cena, and they kind of had this passing of the torch moment, though John Cena, you could say, the torch was already passed to him. He was already a made superstar by 2013, but I get it. They were trying to go with like, hey, The Rock was the past, and he's saying John Cena is obviously the future, the current guy now and stuff. And they had this emotional moment. You can see Cody Rhodes is tearing up, and it just had to mean a lot to him, because John Cena has seen Cody Rhodes develop to where he is to carry the company, and Cody Rhodes probably always wished that he would have this big giant match with John Cena, and it certainly worked out. Let's be honest, this is the match they should have had at WrestleMania 41. From there, after they do an emotional embrace and John Cena raises Cody Rhodes' hand, as you can see in the image there, Cody Rhodes then leaves the ring to John Cena, and the fans shower him in "Thank you, Cena" chants, basically. Thank you, Cena. Thank you, Cena. And yeah, man, honestly, and I've said before, I was never the biggest John Cena fan. My guys during the Ruthless Aggression era was Batista and stuff. I was always more of a Batista and CM Punk guy and everything. And I wasn't a big fan of the way Vince McMahon handled a lot of the booking with John Cena, like many fans. But I've always given John Cena props that, hey, when he gets in the ring, he can absolutely put on a banger of a match, when they weren't going to the formula of him getting beat down for like 15-20 minutes, and he comes back with the 5 moves of doom, and then it's over. John Cena, at this stage of his career, at his age, on his A game, this was as close to a classic John Cena match that I think we've seen in years. Probably the best John Cena match since, I want to say, probably since Royal Rumble 2017, when he defeated AJ Styles to get his 16th world title. That was a phenomenal match. He was in there with a phenomenal opponent, AJ Styles, and that's not to even take away. I thought John Cena Royal Rumble, I was there in person, was fun this year. I thought John Cena's match, his Extreme Rules performance, not Extreme Rules, his Elimination Chamber performance was great. Match with Cody was okay, but his matches with Randy Orton and CM Punk, great stuff. I love that and everything. So man, yeah, this was excellent. This was as close to an old school John Cena match, close to his more prime years that we've got, and I'm proud that of him to be able to pull out this performance. Him and Cody put on an absolute classic, and that was the swerve. The swerve is that John Cena did indeed turn back to being a babyface, and him and Cody had a clean win, and it's refreshing. I think that's refreshing to be like, oh, there was no shenanigans. This was clean, 1-on-1, and they absolutely had a banger. And I think we might as well chalk this up to one of John Cena's greatest all-time matches in there, because yeah, I'm glad he was able to give us this type of performance before he went out. So yeah, like I said, I was never the biggest John Cena fan, but I do believe in giving respect where respect's due, and both these men earned the WWE Universe's respect greatly in this match. So I thought that was absolutely phenomenal. And now we get to the conclusion of this event. As John Cena's in the crowd, we hear the theme song. Din, 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 Audience goes completely unglued after 2 years, and I was there for Brock Lesnar's last WWE match against Cody Rhodes back there at Royal Rumble. No, not Royal Rumble. SummerSlam 2023. So Brock Lesnar comes out sporting a full beard and longer hair, and man, this was crazy because I legitimately did not expect this. I thought we would probably see Brock Lesnar back in WWE one day, but I knew that it would at least not be until the whole Janelle Grant lawsuit that he was named in, basically with Vince McMahon and all that stuff. I was thinking WWE was waiting for that to go to court and all that get settled, and then they were going to make their decision. But no, TKO decided to do it here. Brock Lesnar comes out and he walks down to the ring, and yeah, the atmosphere is crazy, and he's just staring a hole at John Cena. Of course, they're talking about the history there, and so he takes off his vest, takes off his hat, and runs right into the ring. And John Cena, he tries to swing on Brock. Brock quickly dodges, and I gotta admit, I think Brock, man, like, he's in his late 40s now. Brock's a lot closer to 50 now. Looks still in phenomenal shape, still moves phenomenally, man. So Brock Lesnar gets in there, and he hits the the F5 on John Cena, lays him out, and I guess Brock Lesnar just had to get one last beat down in John Cena at SummerSlam. Of course, 10 years ago, he started the whole Suplex City and annihilated John Cena in that match. And it looked like the way this show ended off, they are teasing Brock Lesnar and John Cena having one more match, which I don't know if I'm clamoring for another Brock Lesnar John Cena match, to be honest. Their match at Backlash 2003 was good, so we have at least seen a heel Cena versus a babyface Brock Lesnar. We've seen that dynamic before. I was there in person in 2012. Was it Extreme Rules in 2012 at the Allstate Arena when Brock Lesnar beat the bloody crap out of John Cena, only for Cena to get the win back, and then obviously he got tormented by him by Suplex City 10 years ago at SummerSlam 2000. Was it 2015? So yeah, and then of course we eventually had that match they had where John Cena did much better in September, I think, at Night of Champions, and it just ended in chaos or no contest or whatever, which they never brought that match up again. And I don't think that was the last time we saw Brock Lesnar and John Cena one-on-one. Last any interaction was that awesome triple threat match at the Royal Rumble that I think they had. Was that in 2015? 2015? Yeah. Oh, excuse me. I'm thinking 2015. It was 2014. 2014 is where John Cena, it was 11 years ago. 2014 was where John Cena and Brock Lesnar had their last match at SummerSlam. And then they had that match in September at Night of Champions. And then 2015 is the triple threat match at the Royal Rumble that added Seth Rollins, which was a phenomenal match. Yeah, I think we've seen everything that really needs to be seen about Brock Lesnar and John Cena. I guess they want to run it back, but with so little few dates left, I'd rather see John Cena wrestle new opponents. And if we're going to have a rematch, then hey, let's get Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk. Maybe let CM Punk get that win back, because that match they had in 2013 was awesome. But yeah, nonetheless, this was a shocking way to go out on WWE. I didn't think WWE would do something like this, but yeah, he's back, and obviously there's going to be a lot of people angry. A lot of people are going to be excited. Hopefully this means that we're going to finally get Gunther versus Brock Lesnar. That's been one of the big dream matches, but obviously by the time Gunther came onto the scene in WWE, the whole thing with Brock Lesnar kind of just went away. Brock Lesnar went away for 2 years, but yeah, it's going to be interesting now to see where WWE goes from here as they head into the fall. There's a rumored draft, so you're going to put new people on new shows, but I don't know if that matters much anyway, because they don't take the draft serious, as we've seen this year. So yeah, definitely interested, and it's definitely created headlines. That's one of the reasons why I had to delay my stream, so I can go ahead and make a graphic and put Brock Lesnar in there. So yeah, this is definitely a good way to go out, I think, in terms of making people talk about the show. And they firmly established John Cena is indeed a babyface now. So there you go. Overall, I'm thinking all the different shows. It's late out here. It's midnight, right? Over here in the Central Time Zone. But overall, I thought WWE SummerSlam Night 2 was absolutely a success. Absolutely phenomenal show. Overall, thought it was better than night 1. Night 1 was good, but night 2 was that much better. And just fusing both shows together for an overall weekend event, I give SummerSlam, double thumbs up this year. This was I thought it was a really strong SummerSlam. There were a couple of matches and stuff that was kind of a little bit low there. And I'll make that in my ranking, but overall, just really good show. And what's really good, you had a very, I thought, good SummerSlam with 2 great main events. The World Championship main events killed it. John Cena and CM Punk, this late in their careers, still putting on absolute bangers with Cody Rhodes and Gunther. So yeah, overall, SummerSlam Night 2, absolutely great. And now we're going to head over to the chat and read everyone's comments before we get on out of here. All right, just scrolling up here to see what we got here in the comments. Let's see, where did we leave off here? Okay, so Bleach Fan 2.0, he's healthy. He's the healthiest one out of the Shield too. Seth Rollins' leg is finished, and Roman Reigns is disease ridden. I would say Seth Rollins' leg has held up. They made a storyline out of it. But yeah, Seth Rollins definitely had some leg injuries. Roman Reigns, obviously, he has the whole leukemia and everything, but he's been holding up very well. So, I don't think Roman Reigns, these are things that could greatly impact Roman Reigns. It seems like he's done a good job with it being in remission over the last 6 years, and hopefully he can stay that way. So I definitely pulling for Roman Reigns to stay as healthy as long as possible for the sake of his family. He's got a lot of kids. Sultan 2007 says the blood in the Gunther match, face or false, fake. not real. Solar says this main event, that was definitely a blade job. That's why he went under the ring and he was cutting himself. That, or they used the blood capsule and he put it all over his head, but the way it was coming down, I think he was blading himself. That being said, Solar WX says this main event was amazing. It's sad how they kind of threw away John Cena's heel storyline, but the match was still amazing, with Cody winning the title and becoming a 2-time undisputed champion. 8 out of 10. Yeah, the John Cena heel turn. Yeah, that John Cena heel turn, unfortunately, I liked it. It could have gone better. Shout out to my boy Steve-O of Too Sweet Cosplay. I think I was seeing his comments. I think he put it best, where he was saying that the issue with John Cena's heel turn is that what was going on there is that they didn't commit with new music, they didn't commit with new gear, and they were basically talking about how John Cena, and they made it in the story where you did not deserve new music or new gear, so you will not get that. You get nothing, which made people hate him even more. But yeah, it would have been cool to see just a whole new different presentation. And obviously The Rock and Travis Scott couldn't commit to it for whatever reason, in terms of that stuff. So yeah, I think that was a downer, and I thought a lot of Cena's promos with him just, focusing too much on fans and yelling a lot. I wanted to see more versatility in his promos, which we kind of got more of once he started facing CM Punk and stuff like that. That was great stuff. But yeah, they just never really took it to its full potential, unfortunately. But overall, I'm glad we got it, because I rather see something new and different from John Cena. We have 15 plus something years of John Cena being a babyface and all that stuff. So I think, yeah, why not almost nearly 20 years of him being that same babyface. So it was good to see John Cena become something new and see John Cena play a new character. And I'm glad overall we got it. It's not something that I think, as a fan, I regret seeing WWE do. I'm glad that they decided to give us something different in Cena's last run, and we could say, hey, we got it. The way they even went about it, though, going back to babyface, I thought they would have done a big storyline of John Cena going, really building that trust up again, but they just like, let's just get it out, one promo, call it one and done, and the fans are still cheering. They were cheering them anyway for most of it, so there you go. And with Cena having very limited dates left now for the last 4 months, it makes sense. Just go with it. Just embrace him being a face. At least we could say he got it. So it won't go down as epic as the Hollywood Hulk Hogan and the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns heel turns, but overall, I'm glad that we at least can say we got it. We got it out of our system that we wanted to see the heel Cena turn, the heel Cena for so long. And then let's see, Bleach Fan 2.0 says he bladed and used a blood capsule. Yeah, that's what I was figuring. He used one of the two. And he also says, bro, Cody survived 8 attitude adjustments. Wow, was it 8? Yeah, man, it was pretty crazy there. But hey, if you're gonna have someone do that many kickouts of the attitude adjustment, Cody Rhodes is the guy. That's who you do it with. You have Cody Rhodes be the guy. Let's see what we got here. Next, he says John Cena survived 2 Crossroads and Crossroad Trinity. Yes, he did. Solar WX says the Brock Lesnar return was honestly one of the loudest pops ever, rivaling CM Punk's return from Survivor Series 2023. Yeah, I mean, when I was at my couch, I was like, oh snap! So I gotta go back and just listen to it and everything. But yeah, it sounded like it was massive from what I could hear and from seeing the fans. And I was there at Allstate Arena at Survivor Series 2023. Like I said, I was at the 2011 Money in the Bank, and that was a huge pop when CM Punk won. It was like up here, but then when it came to his return pop, it was like through the roof. And man, like that pop was huge. It was just thunderous, louding, sustained reaction. I've never been a part of something like that. I've been to quite a few WWE events from 2007 and now, so man, and which includes all the big 4 shows and everything. So yeah. Miller773 says yeet. Zone says, love Cena, but I think it's Cody's time. I really hope it will be Cody versus Rollins for both titles in the future. I think we can, the thing I do like about having 2 world titles is it gives opportunities. Like, you think they would have had Jey Uso become world champion if Cody Rhodes and with like the focus being on Cody Rhodes and John Cena? Yeah, I don't think so. So overall, I think I would like them to keep the titles separate. We probably will get another Cody Rollins match, and I can see one day Cody will put Rollins over, since Rollins put him over 3 consecutive times. Bleach Fan 2.0 says, kids don't realize before we had Gunther, before we had Fatu, we had Brock Lesnar. I mean, unless you're a very, very young kid, I mean, who just got in WWE over the last 2 years or a year and a half, then yeah, I would say new kids that just got into WWE, they probably don't realize. But most of the kids who have been watching the last decade, they know what the beast Brock Lesnar is all about and everything. So you got to be a really, really young kid that just started, I would say. But yeah, Brock Lesnar, one of the he definitely as a beast paved the way for those guys for sure. Bleach Fan 2.0 says, when Cena he says this match made up for WrestleMania 41. Absolutely, man. This SummerSlam match between Cody Rhodes and John Cena took their WrestleMania 41 match and basically they wiped their butt with it and threw it in the trash and said the toilet was not even worthy or whatever or something like that. That's the best way I can put it, man. Because wow, just wow. Yeah, this match blew it out of the way. I mean, it was a much more faster paced match, certainly. From there, what do we got here? What else does he say? Made up for the WrestleMania 41 match. Sultan 2007 says, I wish Brock Lesnar challenged Jacob. We will see the best match in the year 2025. Well, yeah, now that Brock Lesnar's back, I can absolutely see Braun Breaker and Jacob Fatu going against Brock Lesnar and him like helping put those guys over as the next monsters of WWE. So certainly that is a match that I think we will be getting in the future here. Bleach Fan 2.0 says, when Cena kicked out of that Crossroads Trinity that made him tougher than Reigns. Did Reigns not kick out of that? So yeah, but hey, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna do that, I mean, I guess. You're saying, yeah, Cena kicked out of it because I guess Roman never kicked out of it. So yeah, nice attention to detail. But yeah, Cody Rhodes, they got to present him as the beast because he's the guy now. He's the face of the company and everything. So yeah, Cena did seem like he was a lot more resilient than even Roman at their WrestleMania 40 match there in that standpoint. Bleach Fan 2.0 also says, sometimes you got to put the old man down. Yeah, that's what it seemed like when he did the salute and everything. Sultan 2007 says, what's next to Roman Reigns and Cody? I think Roman eventually is going to have a showdown with Seth Rollins, and I hope to see that he gets an eventual showdown with CM Punk. CM Punk and Roman Reigns is definitely, I think, a must do match for WWE. As far as Cody continuing to be the face of the company, we'll see where he goes here on SmackDown as far as who he works with next. I think eventually we're going to get that Randy Orton. They're going to circle back to him and Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton will probably go heel and end up taking on Cody Rhodes. We can get another Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes match. I don't think they've done that one with them one-on-one yet. Armory says, I'm back. Yes, this match was amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Solar says, amazing match for sure. Armory says, felt so happy that they hugged it out. Yeah, it was great to see them have that emotional moment because, yeah, like I said, man, you could imagine this is the match Cody Rhodes always probably wanted to have to get to that level of John Cena and have that match where Cena can put him over and, really say, hey, you're the man now. You're the guy in your company. Like, it was phenomenal. I really felt touched by that emotional. I could feel the emotion coming through the TV for that. Those are the the real moments that you just love in professional wrestling. Let's see from here. Emily says, Solar says, amazing match. Felt so happy that they hugged out. Yeah. Bleach Fan 2.0 says, why do Cody Rhodes need so much gratification? He's earned it. He has earned it to be gratified, and yeah, he has worked his butt off to earn and be in this position. That's what I would say. Emily says yes. Zane says facts. Bleach Fan 2.0 says love them both, but man, that's Cena's dog. John Cena snap, crack, and pop this match. Yeah, I mean Cena was he was on fire. Amazing performance by him, especially this late in the game for him. Emily says, feel bad for Liv Morgan because SummerSlam was in her hometown. Yeah, that does suck. It really does suck. And when you look at how they handled that injury with Liv Morgan and how this was handled with Seth Rollins, you can't blame fans for seeing the Seth Rollins finish from the previous night coming to the going the way it was. And let's see what else was said here. Bleach Fan 2.0 says, it's gonna hurt to see John Cena wave us off for the last time. Yeah, I respect him for the career that he's had. Like I said, I was never a big fan, but I know there's a lot of people that grew up John Cena fans, a lot of people who were teens and 20s that John Cena was their guy, and everything, like Stone Cold Steve Austin for a lot of guys and gals who were my age. They grew up as 90s kids. Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock were our guys. So, yeah, emotional moment indeed it will be, but I'm glad he's able to give us this last run. And then Zane says, I think Cena will face some old rivals before he retires, and that would be amazing. Yeah, he's done most of that this run so far, but I would really love to see him get in there with some of the younger talent and everything and stuff like that. So I really hope that we get some more of that. Let's see. Army says it will be sad. Zane says yes, it will be. Bleach Fan 2.0 says Cena versus Brock would be so great, but his match, in my opinion, his last match should be with Theory. With the way Triple H has been booking Austin Theory, that's gonna be to tweak a page from the book of my boy Aaron Riff at NoDQ.com. That would be highly unlikely in all likelihood. Early says, yeah, Brock needs to cut it. Solar says, hypothetically, what if Kurt Angle had one more match? I don't know if he could, but if he did, I think him going out against Cena would be cool. That match that he should have got at WrestleMania, that would be cool. If not, maybe go against Chad Gable or Grande Americano, El Grande Americano. Yeah. Zane said, I'm thinking his last fight is Cena versus Rock. I don't know if The Rock's coming back to do third in a lifetime. Honestly, I'd rather see the Roman and Rock match and call it a day if that's it for The Rock's career. Bleach Fan 2.0 says Dustin Rose. F The Rock. Storyline wise, pretty sure yes, but I know in real life, rest in peace to the late great Dusty Rhodes, he loved The Rock. Early says that would be an amazing match since it's 2025 now. Bleach Fan 2.0 says the ruthless aggression era is slowly leaving out the door. Yeah, it's been 20 years, so it's about that time where you're not going to have too many of those guys around now. Most of those guys that were in their 20s back then are in their 40s, coming up on their 50s. So yeah, Randy Orton is sort of the last of the Mohegans and stuff. Ermley says time flies. Yes, indeed it does. Zane says Gunther and Brock would be amazing. Yeah, that has been a long time dream match. So definitely that would be amazing to see. Ermley says yes, it would. Bleach Fan 2.0 says Gunther lost too much of his aura. They definitely got to build Gunther up because he has taken some big losses. And there you go. But hey, both Brock and Gunther has lost to Cody Rhodes. So there you go. So we'll see how that goes there. Let's see here. Bleach 2.0. Oh, Emily says, yes, it was very surprising. Zane says, yes. Bleach Fan 2.0 says, AEW Forbidden Door might not supersede SummerSlam. Match-wise, I think the match in-ring product for AEW is going to be phenomenal. But story-wise, I don't know if story-wise AEW Forbidden Door will be able to supersede what SummerSlam did here. Let's see here. So Sultan 2007 says, you good man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Night Slayer, I think you're joining the chat, says Brock the Beast. That indeed. The Rant Guy topics. Theory sucks. I like Austin Theory, but the way Triple H has booked him, not so much a fan with that. I didn't like that whole the way he cashed in on the U.S. title and the way they made him and how they failed to really capitalize off of him beating John Cena at SummerSlam. I mean, at WrestleMania 39, and they didn't even give him a credible win. So it's like, Austin Theory, I just wish he was booked better. I would love to see what he could do as a babyface, and they actually give him some big momentum and see what it's like if they pushed a guy and how the fans would react. But hey, Night Slayer in the chat agrees with you. The Rant Guy topics. Night Slayer says Brock versus Cody versus Goldberg for the championship would be fire. Well, it could have been a good match, but Goldberg is done now. So, and I think the way he went out against Gunther is about as good of a Goldberg match you could possibly get at 58 years old, which I had a lot of praise for that. If you all want to see my thoughts on that, check out my video where I did, I said thank you to Goldberg as I look back on his career and stuff, and I talked about that match in there. That being said, let's see how the stream did tonight. So horizontal 38 views. Thank you all very much. Wow, 1,205 views overall in the vertical version of the stream. So I really appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you guys there for that one. That's awesome. And stuff like that. So yeah, definitely thank you all so much for coming out and just engaging in the chat and stuff. And Night Slayer says was mad when that happened. So I guess you were mad when Goldberg lost to Gunther is what you're saying, I guess. But hey, Goldberg at this point has nothing really left to prove. He made his mark. He's gonna go down as one of the biggest stars the business has ever seen because of that Monday Night War period. So him using that star power to help put over Gunther, great way to go out, I would say. That being said, you all, thank you so much for engaging in the chat. I will be back with ranking the WWE SummerSlam 2025 matches of both night 1 and 2, and you can click for more of my content there on the screen, and make sure to follow me on the social media platforms, all in as well as follow my affiliate links, all in the description and pinned comment below. That being said, thank you all so much and take care.